And many of us had an opportunity to see Jay Park put on his work boots and walk through the trash. Here we have a billionaire walking through the trash heap. That was an amazing vision of Jay Park understanding the mind of the billionaire. And what's interesting too, because one day we eventually will get into phase 2 of Suponic Global. But during our launch, we will be introduced to the perfect soap. But what's interesting is that Jay Park loves to travel to other countries and to sort of explore the country and understand it, even at a geological level. He would study what comes out of the volcanoes in Indonesia and find out that there are certain ingredients that come out from deep inside the earth that you cannot find on the surface of the earth. And that the way these minerals are and behave, if he buys that volcano or the rights to mine it, other people think, oh, it's just a volcano. It just spewed up a bunch of black rocks and ash. What's in it for me? An old extinct volcano. But the mind of the billionaire, he looks at the ash, while other men would say, that's just a black rock. And he would refine the black rock and find ingredients and make a bar of soap that costs $20. And that soap would be available at 5-star hotels. And the women are buying it up in bagfuls. Amazing. Amazing how his mind goes beyond the obvious. Goes beyond. He does not miss the forest because of the trees. That is Jay Park. And then what's interesting too, for everyone who attends our launch, which will be in September, Labor Day weekend, for the price of admission to our launch event, you will get a free pair of his earbuds. So again, I remember when Jay Park, this was at the La Palma office, and he was demonstrating the Ink Wars game. And I was competing against another gentleman, and he pitched in $100, I pitched in $100, and Jay Park pitched in $100, and whoever would win that 2-minute game would get all $300. And I lost the game, but had so much fun. But Jay Park said, Allan, you get a consolation prize. You get a pair of earbuds. And later on that evening, when the meeting was over, he said, Allan, let me explain those earbuds to you. So listen to this story a little bit. See, Jay Park, as a child, as most Asian parents do, when you're born to an Asian family, the parents understand the kids either join gangs and get into trouble, or you could train their mind with hobbies and talents and get them some discipline. Especially for boys, they need to learn Bach, the composer Bach, Baroque music Bach. And that type of music, boys with their math skills enjoy that. So Jay Park ended up not only learning piano as any child or girl does, but he became concert pianist level. His hearing was perfect, and he could read music, and he could appreciate music. And with his millions, he would travel the world and look at technology. He went to a consumer electronics show, and the headphone company said, Jay Park, listen to these headphones and compare it to any type of headphones that you've used in the past. And he put it on his ears, and when he listened to the music, it sounded so much clearer, so much more real, sort of a 3-dimensional sound. He told me that the $5,000 headphones that he used to wear he really felt like throwing them into the trash, going, boy, I spent a lot of money on this other brand, but here is a brand that costs less but sounds better. And so he bought the whole company. And he decided to then continue to refine these earbuds, make them wireless, make them wired, and also headphones of different levels, and headphones that will be good for DJs. And the technology was a success, and everyone who attends our launch will get a pair of earbuds. And he explained the triple driver, which is a special chip, which will help magnify the sound in three brackets: low range, mid range, and high range. And is totally better than any other set of headphones I've ever listened with. And I'm glad I lost the Ink Wars game, because I'm glad I got a $325 set of earbuds as a consolation prize. But that is Jay Park. And he explained to me the story. But as you start to read the history, go back 2 years with the Suponic Facebook pages, you'll notice that Jay Park noticed that music brings people together. Music touches lives. It attracts all sorts of people. And he decided to feature some products of Suponic, especially the headphones, and for him to sponsor a music event where there would be DJs and live performances, and he started to market it. And it broke records. It was a special weekend, one of the local holidays, cultural holidays of South Korea. So in Seoul, Korea, the marketing was so good that the attendance was over 1 million people in one day. And it broke records, because for a live concert, to have 1 million people show up on one day for a one-day event broke records. And he wished that he had it verified by Guinness Book of World Records, because he did know he broke a record. So that, again, is the man, Jay Park. And what he was able to do was able to promote his headphones. And he had booths all over where people could buy these headphones. And the DJs who were part of the rave and everything were wearing his headphones and talking about them. So it was a really good mix of entertainment, promotion, sponsorship of Suponic, and talking about the headphones. So he has that interesting way of doing things in a grand way. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We're tying in a very huge live concert that will follow right after our launch. Possibly September 5th, where we're getting close to the real date. We may start our launch at 10 a.m. and then the big party and celebration may start at noon, but stay tuned for the details. And he has teamed up with marketers that have a big database of names of people that love music all around the world. And they hope to, at a minimum, to have 2 million people in the live streaming audience. And it can handle up to 10 million. And what's neat is he, again, is going to help you become a crypto millionaire. And we'll get a little bit more into the detail of Suponic Global and you. But he is going to let the world know through that concert a little bit more about who is Suponic and what is Suponic Global and what is that new cryptocurrency, the SGC, etc., etc. And his mind works a mile a minute. And we almost had the concert in July this month. But then he said, no, we need to do more promotion of Suponic. I feel something. We need to have banner ads. We need to have maybe a texting campaign. We need to have the announcers and the talents give live commercials. Who knows? But they are going to have this event help you, ladies and gentlemen, that are on this call. Each and every one of you, each and all your families, each and all your business associates are going to be helped from this concert, going to be helped from the launch. Again, that is Jay Park, the Oracle. So let's get to a couple more pictures and I'll continue with the story. As a young boy, Jay Park almost didn't make it to Australia, at least on the original flight booked to take them from Seoul, Korea, when he was like 6 or 8 years old, to move to Australia and become citizens of Australia. He loved video games. Jay Park is 38 years old now. So 32, approximately 30 to 32 years ago was this story. He was in Seoul Airport. His parents were about to board the plane. And all of a sudden, their son, Jay, could not be found. I guess the parents were busy doing their thing, and Jay Park was doing his thing. And what thing was he doing? He sort of wandered away and found a little cove where there were vintage video games, sort of like the bottom picture, all right? And so what we have is Jay Park enjoying the video games, and his family now frantically looking for him because their flight's about to take off. Their whole family is they're uprooting themselves and moving to a new continent to start a new life and expand their business there. And here's Jay just enjoying video games, and without a care in the world, he almost missed the flight. But his parents found him and had to drag him away from the video game. And I imagine Jay Park was probably crying, going, "Mom, Dad, I want to finish the game." But they told him, "Hey, we have to catch a flight. We have to go to Australia." And Jay Park's going, "What's this Australia? I love Korea. Why are we moving?" But anyhow, as Jay Park starts to grow up in Australia, he gets to watch his father do business and meet a lot of other business people. But Jay Park didn't really understand what his father did. As Jay Park's going to grade school, he understands, oh, this is what the fireman does. Oh, this is what the accountant does. And this is what the doctor does. And this is what the nurse does. And of course, this is what my teacher does. You know, they clock in, clock out, work 5 days a week. I understand. But there was a time when Jay Park really didn't understand what his father did because his father was always home. So when Jay was a little bit older, he asked his father, "Dad, do you have a job or are you unemployed?" And his father smiled and said, "Son, pick up that big box, put it into the van, and let's go on a little trip. And Daddy is going to show you what he does." So Jay Park picks up the big box, and they travel to a certain city, I'm not sure, Melbourne, Sydney, and they pull up to a building with a lot of security, and in it is a retail jewelry store. And there Jay Park happens to be delivering a box full of jewelry. And so what was interesting is Jay Park knew that his family liked to sell jewelry. And when they first arrived to Australia, they would sell jewelry just to the public from little tables. And so Jay Park saw his family take what cost 50 cents to create. They would sell these pieces of jewelry for $25, these costume jewelry. And so he saw that, oh, selling jewelry is pretty neat. But he only saw it from a small scale. He didn't know that his father was building it up to a huge scale. And suddenly the gentleman that they delivered the box to, so a big box of jewelry, handed his father, I think, a check for, oh man, I'm forgetting now. I think a check for like $50,000. And Jay Park goes, "Wow, Dad, well, what happened here? You got a check for $50,000. And he goes, "I sold that man a lot of fancy jewelry. And that's what your father does. As long as I deliver a box of jewelry every now and then to our business partners who retail the jewelry, we're making money." And so with all those business connections, Jay Park was going, "Wow, Dad, that's amazing. I like your business. It's so different from the doctor, the teacher, or whatever, where you clock in and clock out and work in a little cubicle. I like how you're self-employed. Maybe I should be self-employed. I like that freedom. And so what was interesting is Jay Park watched his father make more and more business connections. And as South Korea was rebuilding after the war, the South Koreans had more money to now buy fancier food to eat. And many of us has had the opportunity to enjoy a good Korean barbecue and all those different cuts of meat and beef and pork with the different barbecue sauces, and you cook it right in front of you to your liking, and you eat it fresh, and it's so delicious. The Korean people now could afford beef, and Jay Park saw his father go, wow, the Korean people can afford beef, but of course, beef is not local in South Korea. But we live in Australia, and there's so much beef in Australia. Let me learn how to wholesale beef to South Korea. And that's how brilliant his father was. And Jay Park saw his father become one of the biggest wholesalers of beef to South Korea. And again, adding to their millions. Now, in between that time, Jay Park is starting to memorize the names of all the business contacts of his father. And while Jay Park, during his free time, in between piano lessons and school, he is playing video games still. And one of his favorite games as a young child was Ninja Turtles, and one of the big bosses was Shredder. And Jay Park could never beat the big boss, Shredder. But Jay Park was so competitive, he said, I got to figure out how to beat Shredder. I do not have the skill. Maybe I could hack into the computer side of this game and reprogram it to give me more life or more power, and I could beat Shredder. So now, with that story, you're starting to figure out that Jay Park is a problem solver. And he's able to think out of the box and even break into the box of his video game. So he broke into the video game and hacked it. And he gave himself either more lives or more power, and he was finally able to beat Shredder. So again, many of you are thinking, oh, he's a cheater. But the way I interpret it is, wow, how creative. He wanted to beat Shredder, and he had to figure out a way how to do it. And again, it was his own game. It was his own toy sitting in his bedroom. He could do whatever he wants with it. And a guy like Jay Park learned to reprogram the game at a young age. Anyhow, Jay Park started to read computer books as a child, and he learned how to create websites because he noticed that the World Wide Web was starting to be created, and these websites were being created which would help business reach to more clients and be a better service to clients because a lot of information can be online. So Jay Park taught himself how to be a web developer or a website developer. And he told his dad, Dad, if I could make a good website for your business contacts and charge them a fee, and they pay me directly, can I do that? And his father said, sure, son. Make those website things, which I know nothing about. And if you make money doing it, great, go for it. And so Jay Park started to be paid, say, $1,000 for a simple website. And Jay Park kept working, making more websites. He goes, I want to make a fancier website. Let's see if I could get $5,000 for it. And lo and behold, here's a young kid, a teenager, making $5,000 in one sale. That sure beats cutting lawns or newspaper route. Look how Jay Park is thinking. His mind was just thinking so big. He could be paid $5,000 to create a website for a business partner of his father. Finally, he got up to $10,000, then $25,000, then $50,000. Can you imagine a teenager being paid $50,000 to be a webmaster, and he hasn't even graduated from high school yet? Finally, his goal was, because this is the mind of Jay Park, who when he puts on his spacesuit becomes the Oracle, all right? He says, I want to now make a website for a car manufacturing company from South Korea. And he got a deal with Daihatsu and made their corporate website. And he got paid $300,000 cash. That's unbelievable achievement for a young man. So Jay Park's a cash millionaire before he's 18. His father already multimillionaire because he saw his father working hard and conventional commodities and jewelry business and sales and retail. And now Jay Park is now ready to go to university. And he goes to university in America because one thing about Asian families, they believe in good education. And they said, right now, America's a good place to study. And so he got his degree in computer sciences. And then many of us already know this story. He worked his way up, IBM. He was the first one to work, the last person to leave. He got noticed by his supervisors, and he got better and better. And his supervisors, kind of groomed him to climb the ladder. And he actually superseded his supervisors and became the CIO of the Asia division. But again, his love for video games never left him. So Jay Park, the Oracle, said, hey, in America, they have Chuck E. Cheese. In America, they have Dave & Buster's. People love these video games too. I'm not the only customer. But I noticed that people with great skill would have good fun beating the video game. But they could never monetize their skills. And so that's where Jay Park started to think about, wow, maybe I could monetize somehow people's skills. And so what's interesting is, let me talk a little bit about Jay Park's background now with video games on a professional level. When Jay Park left IBM, one of the first companies he worked for was Shonda Games. And they are traded on the stock market. And he was put in charge of a big project that was going to launch in the European division of Shonda Games, a game called Puzzles and Dragons. And his whole team, the developers, the programmers, those who did the music and designed the whole challenge of the games, each level, the game was a big hit. And it did over $5 billion in sales its first 6 or 7 months of business. I mean, Shonda Games was excited, going, wow, we have a big hit being led by Jay Park, and he's creating billions in business the first year. We love this Jay Park. And so the whole world of video games, other companies that do video games, started to hear about Jay Park. And then Jay Park, of course, humbly smiled, going, yeah, I'm good. And he, gets his share of the pie. And again, he's on his journey to making his first billion, setting aside the money he made at IBM, setting aside the big money he made at Shonda Games. And then he started to experience other types of programs. And so there were some other game developers that he had worked with, and he would collaborate on different projects. And there was a game that was, he was asked to help publish it, and he did it yet. He said yes, but he told his partner, the video quality of his game is a little poor, and there's very little sound effects, and the music is terrible, or there's no music. And so I don't think this game is going to fly. But the company had a little twist saying, hey, we have a special retail section to the game that these people could make back some of their money and make a little bit of profit with their skills if they win a match. And then Jay goes, oh, okay, that's a little twist. But this was all at the retail level, had no cryptocurrency or anything. It was just, put in some US dollars and you get more US dollars back out. And so that was a little twist in the gaming field, because gaming was a one-way street. You choose a game you like, you put in your quarters, you pay for the game or whatever, and you never get your money back out. You just get many hours of fun with the game. And that's the trade-off. You spend money on the game, and you get fun with the game. And that's it. It's never a two-way street where some of the money comes back to you. But this game that he helped publish did really well. It was doing, $1 million a week is because a big group of gamers started to spread the word like, hey, we're monetizing our skills. So Jay took that experience, and see, this is the mind of Jay Park, the Oracle, where he takes each experience, processes it, and builds upon it. And so again, this was over 13 years ago, Jay Park's experiences in gaming of all types. And so let's jump to Ink Wars a little bit. And with Ink Wars, Jay Park says, I'm going to publish a new game, and it's going to be a little bubble game. And I want to have some of the best music composers work on my game. And so he got to meet many of the people that do music all year long for different studios. And so there were people who worked on Disney's Little Mermaid, Disney's Aladdin, Disney's Lion King 2, Disney's Hercules, on making all the music for all those Disney titles. And he would then hire the same people because they need work all year round. And he would hire them to make the sounds and the music for Ink Wars and any of Jay's other games. So he's hiring the best. And then he also hired people who worked on Final Fantasy 11 and 12. And he got to hire some of the best engineers. And so Ink Wars was created, and that game alone has so much depth. And the more I play, the more I go, wow. See, I'm not a gamer, but just playing Ink Wars is almost like getting into a little part of the mind of Jay Park, the details. And so I really recommend people keep on learning Ink Wars. You do it more of just getting to know Jay Park. You may not really do it to win, because what's amazing is there's people who take it to heart and they're really good, and they, of course, will beat you. But in today's talk, I won't be getting too much into the comp plan, as you can see. But trust me, you play the game once a day, and you're getting another form of income, and you'll actually make more income than the one SGC that you lost playing the game to somebody, okay? Trust me on that. And so let's look at a few pictures real quick. To the left, I've known Jock Johnson, and he's our CEO of North America. And I've done network marketing with him for various products for about 12 years. And he had a private meeting with Jay Park. And Jay Park gave Jock a vision of what he was looking for when it came to crypto gaming. And so I personally joined Jock Johnson in another sales project, crypto gaming, but I'm glad that Jock was keeping his mind open to look at another crypto gaming platform being presented by Jay Park. In the middle, again, Jay Park is wearing the yellow hoodie, and Jay Park would talk to AC Green and Jock Johnson privately. This was in February, and the marriage was made. The two of them would explain that they have expertise in building teams of 50,000 people in less than a year, that they had expertise in bringing in the sales volume, and these teams were made to promote gaming, video gaming. And so Jay Park was impressed, because when Jay Park came to North America, he had a special project in mind, because he was about to expand version 2 of Suponic Global to China. But because of the coronavirus outbreak, the pandemic, he had to move things to the United States where the virus had not taken hold of yet. And so in a way, it was sad that the pandemic is here, but it was a fortunate turn of events for all of us that Jay Park took all of his expertise and brought it to North America. Now, the picture to the right has a lot of history. This is the country club that is near the home of Jock Johnson. He lives in Pasadena, close to the Rose Bowl. And there's a country club for the golf course. And we had a breakfast meeting there. And that was the first time my wife and I, so there's my wife, and there's me, yours truly. This is our first time to meet Jay Park. And let me tell you, Gail Gajardo was there, our Director of Communications. Nick Bailey was there, our VP of IT. Charles Weber, one of the first people I sponsored into this business. The game warden, Hayward Cole, was there. I mean, people that you hear leading out this company during pre-launch, and we were sort of like the troops that had to climb the cliffs of Dover on D-Day, okay? We were the first ones, because when we heard that Jay Park was in serious negotiations to combine forces with Jock Johnson and AC Green when it came to crypto gaming. And so Jay Park spoke for a good 40 minutes to all those present at this meeting, this business meeting. It was a breakfast meeting, outdoors. And I was frantically writing notes because Jay Park's story was so amazing. And one of the stories that he shared with us, this is the very first time I've met Jay Park, was right here in this picture to the right. And Jay Park said that his family was Christian, and he's a Christian, and that now that he's made more than enough money than he could spend in the rest of his lifetime, that he wants to help other people become successful in business. And so he does charity work. And when he would travel, so when he was looking for a good coffee company to buy, and looking for a right volcano to mine, and for all his different projects, he came across poor families that would maybe own a lot of land, but they had no way of farming the land because of the weather. But they owned a lot of land, and Jay Park said, this land is perfect to raise pigs, and the pigs could give birth to more pigs, and they could raise the pigs bigger and sell them to market, and they will now have a perpetual, pig farm. And so he talked to the local people and said, I want to give you an industry called pig farming because you people love to eat pig. And the people are excited because only a few little pig farms were in the country. And if they were given a big herd of pigs, they would definitely create the biggest pig farm in their country, and they would all become rich. And so Jay gave them 1,000 pigs. And then when Jay Park would come back to visit the families there that he had given the pigs, he was a little disappointed, but again, he was still trying to help people, help them grow from what level they were at. And again, the people could relate to food and the commodity of pigs and selling pigs. But the people love to celebrate for any reason, whether it's a birthday, a wedding, a death. Somebody graduated from kindergarten, someone graduated from middle school, someone graduated from high school, someone learned the 9 times tables. I don't know. They celebrated any reason they had, and they would roast a pig. So before you knew it, they had 1,000 celebrations. But they were given 1,000 pigs, and oh no, they ate the farm. But Jay Park, with a smile on his face, goes, no problem. You tried your best. You did what you thought was right. No problem. And so Jay has had these experiences of helping people. He even would just give people, gobs of money. You look at the families and go, all you need is some family, and your family just needs some money, and then you could start a business, and you can move up in life and get more options in life because you have more money. And he would give people money, and then when he'd come back to visit them later, all the money is gone. The money was spent. The money wasn't didn't buy a business, and they weren't running a business. But again, he still knew that he loved the people and he wanted to help the people. And so when he was older and a famous young billionaire, when he went back to South Korea, his philanthropy was a little bit more refined and sophisticated. He talked to some families, middle-class families. They weren't millionaire families, just solid middle-class families. And during that meeting, the people asked them, Jay Park, can you create a business that will be here forever, that we could build and sell the product or service? And so Jay Park said, sure. And let's use the network marketing method, because that seems to truly let the hard workers succeed and the lazy ones will just drift off to the side. And it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy for those who participate. People get to see the reality, who's really motivated and who's really lazy, and let it just let things fall where they fall. And so he started a certain branch of Suponic with certain products, and they were trying to multi-level the product. And he would travel all around the world to find unique products that he could sell at a high price, but it would have a high profit margin so he could run the operation. And one of them was a $500 bottle of diet pills. Very healthy, very natural, very effective. But it turned out that his team of marketers could sell a whole cargo container. These are those shipment containers, cargo container, full of vitamin bottles. They would sell it in 3 weeks. But the company that manufactured the pills would take a whole 8 weeks to refill the cargo container with more supply. So Jay Park was learning, going, I'm really glad that I'm helped people become a millionaire, but I need a better product that could supply the sales ability of these great people. And so he decided maybe I should do something that has to do with gaming, because gaming is scalable to large numbers of people. But the sale is small, but we could get hundreds and thousands and millions of people involved in a game, and the sales volume will grow as we get hundreds, thousands, and millions of people playing our games. And so Jay Park started to dabble in gaming. And then he was in a partnership with a company, and they were making some money with some video games, but the partners made several million, and they were willing to just quit because they made enough millions. But Jay Park says, hey, we just begun. And all the network marketers, they want this to continue. They want us to build a big foundation. Why quit now? I know you've made a lot of millions, but I promised the people that I would build them a company that would not disappear. But his partners wanted to just leave because they were used to starting a company, they make a few million, and then they leave before the company crashes. They really don't believe the company could last forever. But Jay Park, again, wants to prove those type of people wrong, that a company can last. And so Jay Park bought out all his partners, and he was now the head, and changed the name from Good Game Platform to something else. I think Suponic was born. And then he came across another group of salespeople who were selling interesting products. These were not products that Jay had found, but this group of about 14,000 network marketers were selling products that only had a 3 to 4% profit margin. And the people were productive, but there wasn't enough profit per item being sold by the marketers that the company really had no money left over to grow. And so Jay Park said, hey, I'm going to give you a new product. And so what's interesting, folks, is let me advance the slide a little bit here. Let's get, okay, we talked about ink wars. Now, the game platform. Okay, so he's created a virtual Chuck E. Cheese that we call the Suponic game platform, which we will be building and be adding several games. And they're looking into Suponic bowling, which I'm excited about. And let's get to the exchange. Okay. Jay Park finally, there was a time he was working with a charity doing some computer consulting work. And the charity said, Jay Park, we appreciate you working on the computers for us, and we want to pay you, but we do not have cash to pay you, but we want to pay you in Bitcoin. And this was the first time Jay Park was ever given Bitcoin. And so Jay Park, I think earlier he had studied the blockchain, but now he was studying the very first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, because he was given it. At that point, I think Bitcoin was valued under $100, but Jay Park kept the Bitcoin all the way to the point when it was worth way over 15,000 a coin. And Jay Park, during that time, was learning the blockchain and studying cryptocurrency and going, I think I could create my own cryptocurrency and my own exchange. And a lot was happening just 3 to 4 years ago, just a little bit before 2017. So 2016, cryptocurrency was going crazy, especially the Bitcoin. It was reaching new highs, 11,000 a coin, 12,000 a coin, 13,000 a coin. And a lot of countries started to, the governments of Japan, China, and South Korea, big Asian governments, were suspicious a little bit about this cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and the cryptocurrency itself, and the blockchain it was using. And so they decided to put a halt to all cryptocurrency transactions in that country to investigate. Japan started, then China started the investigation, and South Korea started the investigation. And that just happened about 2.5 years ago. And so Jay Park already had version 1 of his Suponic exchange. And so let me tell you a little bit about what was happening there. Jay Park started to build on version 1 of crypto gaming. And he was using his own Suponic exchange to help the customers with the different cryptocurrencies. And he had a different thing going on cryptocurrency-wise with Suponic. And so I can't explain the whole detail, but all I know is that his version 1 of the exchange was doing over 1 billion transactions per month until the South Korean government said we have to halt all the exchanges. And so Jay Park, of course, that was a big blow to everybody. And so everybody's in a holding pattern now, just when things are getting exciting. Because what was happening back then was that when people would earn some of Jay's cryptocurrency, whatever form it was, I don't know the exact detail of what it was, they were able to trade it to Bitcoin or trade it to Ethereum or whatever. And when people get to trade different cryptocurrencies on an exchange, the whole world starts to hear about it, the whole world of crypto. And that really helps new cryptocurrency that has some good reason for it, like a good blockchain, to go up in value. So that's why sales started to pick up in South Korea for Jay's company, whatever they were selling. Jay said there were people walking to the front door of his company with bags of cash. But see, what really helped was the proof that things were being traded on an exchange. One cryptocurrency was being traded for Bitcoin, or Ethereum was being traded for Jay's new cryptocurrency, whatever it was, back and forth, all these different trades. And see, ladies and gentlemen, October 1st, part of Jay Park, the Oracle, we are going to experience what South Korea got to experience for a short time until the government had to do their investigation into cryptocurrencies. So the good news is Japan, China, and South Korea allowed all the crypto exchanges to reopen and cryptocurrency to be real, and they accepted it. But they wanted to make sure that they're going to clamp down on any Ponzi schemes, however. And so that ended up being very good what the government did. But for us in North America and the rest of the world, here's what we're going to experience. We have things that Jay Park knows are going to be momentum builders for all of us. The launch, September 5th, the music concert, the promotion, the branding, all the commercials. We'll see what's going to be happening, because that's why they wanted a little bit more time to really help launch Suponic Global, launch Suponic. And so we, the marketer, will have a softened market. People will have heard about us. The word will be spreading ahead of us, that when we chat with someone, they'll go, oh, I heard about that somewhere. Tell me more. And you and I will have an easier time recruiting if we're a network marketer. Many of us who want to sell to hodlers and partners will have an easier time selling. And because of the music events like this. And then October 1st, when we open up version 2 of our Suponic exchange with all the trades, and pretty soon there'll be 1 million trades a week. And then it'll pick up to 1 million trades every 2 days. And finally, there could be several millions of trades every day. That is the best proof, because all the crypto traders are going to believe in our SGC, because our SGC is going to be traded for other established cryptocurrencies, and back and forth and forth and back and forth. And of course, they're going to learn about the utility of the SGC. See, that's the key. We as marketers are allowed to sell utilities all day long. It's not a security. We don't need a license. I've gone that route before. I've had my securities license before. I've sold mutual funds before in a network marketing situation. And it's a pain in the rear, because you have to renew the license. You have all this continuing ed and all this blah, 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 blah. And here, it's easy. We're selling something that's an asset that's going to pay dividends for 20 years. And I tell you, having the proof, October 1st, I tell you folks, please, if you're new, buy as many SGC that you could afford. And then every 2 weeks, buy some more that you could afford. Because all I say is Jay Park, the Oracle, is going to bless you just with the dividend alone from the packages you buy. You are going to be able to get a daily dividend, and it's paid to you in Bitcoin. And then through the exchange, you can exchange it through the financial institutions that Jay is going to partner with into various types of fiat currencies that you wish to spend and make a living with. And over time, as Robert Allan, our master distributor, said, over time, give it maybe just a year, as more coffee shops, because I know the Suponic Cafe is going to accept the SGC wallet and SGC as a payment system for a cup of coffee, for a donut, whatever. But if Starbucks starts to accept it, ladies and gentlemen, lights out, we now have a payment system. And that's the goal, because Jay Park has mentioned that privately and also publicly, that our SGC will soon rival Bitcoin in many ways. A better blockchain, 68,000 transactions per second, while blockchain lumbers, the blockchain of Bitcoin lumbers along at 7 trades per second. And we, being a payment system, will be better and safer than cash, because we have the blockchain and open ledger. And financial institutions and retail will love us because our payment system is faster than, say, the Visa card at 24,000 transactions per second. And so I tell you, because of the pandemic and each country, because what's happening in America right now, Congress, the Senate, and the Congress are deciding, should we print $1 trillion more of fresh, new, crisp $100 bills? Or should we print $3 trillion of fresh, new $100 bills? We do not have any gold to back up that money. We're just printing the money, and the good faith of the economy of the United States is backing that money. But there is always a risk of inflation. And that's why gold is about to reach its new high. It's at $1,900 an ounce, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Bitcoin is slowly creeping back up again, because the pandemic is ravaging the economies of the world. And so it's good to diversify. So you see, the timing is perfect. Jay Park and the Oracle, the timing of everything he is doing is just so perfect and so spot on. And so everything is coming together. And this momentum building, you need to be a part of it. You need to have some SGC. And then keep on buying more for you and your family. Share the word to other people so they are a part. Because once we launch the company, Labor Day weekend, then this exchange opens up, and the proof of the exchanges of SGC to other types of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, Ripple, whatever, Dash, Engine Coin. I tell you, that's proof. People are going to eat up the SGC. They're going to learn who Jay Park is, even though he likes to keep in the limelight hidden. It is just going to be a big explosion. And so I am glad that we had an opportunity together to hear a little bit. There are other stories. I mean, I could get into the medical devices because Jay Park, since he knows I'm a retired physician, he would speak to my wife and I about his medical division of Suponic, and the stories I could share with you there will blow your socks off. And he's been undergoing cell regeneration treatments himself, and the stories that he's shared with me about how better he feels. And then his parents are older, and they're getting treatments with the cell regenerator. And the stories of what his family is experiencing with the cell regenerator, it's unbelievable. All I'll say is he went to a medical device show in Dubai, got introduced to the cell regenerator, was so impressed after one 30-minute treatment that he bought the company right there and then. He said, "How many million are you worth? I'm going to have my accountant double check your price. And if that price is good, I'm buying your company." That's Jay Park. He buys companies with his millions, and that's why he's a billionaire. He knows a good thing when he sees it. So anyhow, let's give you all a 1-hour break. Double check your notes. I hope you learned a lot today. I am really pleased that all of you are starting to take a good look at Suponic Global, starting to really know what's there to believe. Are all these digital assets real? Is the SGC real? Is the game real? Is the game platform real? And of course, is Jay Park, is he really real? Please stay with us. He'll be on the line with AC Green as host